Hello Wanderers, welcome back to our Crusader Kings 3 roleplay series following Clan Stjarna, and as we begin a brand new season following up on the heels of the adventures of Satorthi Styrkar's son, who conquered the lands of Navarra and founded a kingdom there for himself, we cross Europe and find ourselves here in Bulgaria within the Byzantine Empire, taking up the line of Eirikr Stjarna, son of Styrkar, who traveled south from Bjarmaland down across the rivers into the Black Sea, settling here on the coast of Moesia and founding himself a small polity that eventually became part of the Byzantine Empire. Now, we are not playing as the Duke or the Jarl of Moesia. That is Jarl Pudak the Dull, and that is our brother. No, we are playing as Count Refir, Eirikr's son. Now, this, I think, presents us with some interesting things within this game. One, we are not starting in a position of complete power, but we are starting in a unique position where we can gain power very quickly. This should present us some fun early challenges to overcome and to get a chance to experience some different styles of gameplay than we have seen thus far. Now, we will be taking a look at our character in just a moment, but I do want to just pop back out and take a look here, as you have requested in many of the comments, to look at our dynasty. Now, we are going to open the dynasty tree here, and as we can see here, King Styrkar Stjarna. That was a long time ago that we were playing as King Styrkar. Those of you who have been here since the beginning will remember his adventures and the stories and tales that were told of him and his many sons. Now, well, we have ventured from many of these lands. Indeed, as you will remember, in the last season, we were playing as King Satorthi, whose mother was from the Basque region, from the Basque royal family, and now has become the King of Navarra himself, leaving it to his son, King Sumarlithi. But there are many other sons of Styrkar. Of course, King Styrbjorn, the one who followed after his father and had many children himself, including the once King Eirikr, who was ousted from his position in favor of King Vigfus, who now currently rules, and did so at the head of an army led by his brother Satorthi. Then, of course, there is Jarl Frothi, who settled in northern Scotland and whose family rules there still, as you will know, Jarl Frothi II, currently ruling in that land. But no, we are playing under the line of Eirikr, and Eirikr founded himself this kingdom based on an ideal of trade and politics, and that is something we do want to keep up for ourselves. But we do have our pesky brother Jarl Pudak the Dull to deal with. But let us look at our character here, Count Refir Eiriksson. Well, as you can see, we are shy, which I think is kind of a bit of an element that shall prevent us from doing diplomacy per se, but we have other routes of dealing with problems than simply diplomacy. We are stubborn, so that should prevent us from being too wishy-washy when it comes to our expansion and our plans, and of course vengeful, which means that anybody who crosses our paths better watch their backs, because we are indeed an intricate web weaver in addition to being a torturer. So we are not a good man. This is definitely an evil character, and I believe this is probably our first evil character that we played. Styrkar, you could consider him evil in some sense. He certainly did evil things, but I don't think Styrkar was an evil man. Satorthi obviously was of a heroic kind of bent to him, but Count Refir here is no such thing. He is certainly a man who has no qualms about hurting others in order to get what he wants. We are a logistician, so we do have some military knowledge. We're reclusive. We rarely leave our castle. We have been excommunicated, interestingly enough. No doubt the church recognizes the fact that we are not exactly a pious man, and more importantly, we come from a line of Norse rulers, and so that may have had some effect there as well. We are irritable, of course, and a murderer, which is rather unfortunate. As you can see here, we have committed a few different murders. Well, we executed this man, Vuk, but then we apparently murdered Kozma. The reasons, well, those are unknown, but he crossed us, and that was an unfortunate fact for him. But most interestingly, we are responsible for the death of King Eirikr Astridarsson of Denmark, a very influential and powerful man, and we did away with him. He is distantly related, I believe, through our mother, which probably explains why we did away with him. But we had that information be let out. In fact, I believe that it was Jarl Pudak himself that told the world of our plans and the success of them, and thus we are known as a murderer. Well, we shall have to get back at our brother for that. Indeed, the vengeful trait playing out already. Important characters in our family, of course, is Countess Pulcheria of the Karakalitzes clan. I think I nailed that on the first try. She is extremely good at stewardship, which is extremely good for us. She is temperate, honest, and greedy, so although she is not an evil person, she certainly seems to enjoy her position here. And we have a few children as well. Our eldest daughter, Countess Katyako of Bulgars, which gives us an alliance with one of our fellow vassals in Moesia. Here we have Count Sigbjorn. Then we have our heir, our son, Kolbein Refjärsson, who is fickle, deceitful, but ambitious, and he is a fortune builder, so we may be playing a more intrigue-focused game at first with Count Refjärsson, or Count Refjär, I should say, before transitioning more into a stewardship type of game and playing things with money later on when we take over as Kolbein. Our second son, Genyo, is humble, just, and lustful, so although he is not a particularly good character, I doubt he will cause any problems for his brother in the future. He's a flamboyant trickster and gout-ridden, so really not really much going on for him, unfortunately. He's not a disappointment, but he is not a pride either. And then we have Countess Atpalha, and she is the wife of Count Adrian of Brela, which I believe is here in the Duchy of Moldavia, I should say. So, there are some important characters. And then, of course, we have Jarl Pudak, our brother, who we do have a hook on. We have an attempted murder blackmail hook on him, which will probably provide some useful things for us in the future. He is arbitrary, he is callous, and he is gluttonous, a flamboyant trickster, a seducer, reckless, irritable, profligate, and excommuted himself. He is also an extremely intrigue-focused man, so that should provide an interesting bit of back and forth, but he is extremely in debt, and his prestige is massively in the negative here, along with his piety as well. So he is not really doing well for himself, and we will try to oust him from power. Namely, among his court is his son Thane Vese, who is trusting, gluttonous, stubborn, a flamboyant trickster, irritable, comfort eater, drunkard, This man does not deserve to rule the Duchy of Moesia, and if we have anything to say about it, we will not. But in order to deal with our brother and claim the Duchy of Moesia, we will need to do something about this significant amount of allies that he has, even though we could easily best his forces ourselves with their 500 men and the fact that they are severely in debt. We could easily destroy his army, but he has a powerful alliance here with the Duke Sicinios II of Pastillas. That will provide a little bit of cover for him, but even more dangerous is the High Chieftain Jakub of Moldavia. And as you can see here, he has a lot of troops. And that is why we're going to be doing something about that. In fact, we have started a murder scheme to murder the High Chief. And to that end, we are going to bring on perhaps this man here. A little bribe should do it well. The High Chieftain, the High Chieftain's marshal, I should say, Chieftain Carol, will indeed accept a bribe and join our scheme, and that should give us a pretty significant boost to our scheme power. Now, once High Chieftain Jakub is dead, that should leave our brother looking very vulnerable indeed. As you can see, a 95% chance of success here, so we just need to let that tick down. While we do that, we are just going to save up some money. We're going to look at any other decisions. We have few knights, but I don't think we can afford any knights just yet. So we won't worry about that. Espionage murder. While performing his duties as my spymaster, Kolbane has uncovered a secret held by High Chieftain Jeremy of Perislavel. He schemed from the shadows to have Ipikel murdered. Well, we learn High Chieftain Jeremy's murder secret. That could prove useful. That definitely could prove useful. We could have our son perhaps support schemes. Indeed, I think we shall have him do that. That will certainly... doesn't really increase our chance, but we will be providing more schemes in the future, so we definitely wish to continue in that respect. So, well, let us take a look while we're waiting at the state of the Empire, and as you can see, Basilisa Theophano, 76 years old, an impressive woman despite what your looks may tell you. Although she is fickle, generous, and gluttonous, she is an insightful thinker, a novice physician, a scholar, whole of body, an eager reveler, a drunkard, but athletic, one-legged, and a administrative courtier. This person seems like she's led a pretty interesting life, and she has spent the last while at war here, 4 years, defending against Kagan Manas of Khazaria, a long-fought war over the county of Kerch here in Crimea, a war which I suspect she shall not be winning. She is an extremely well-learned woman, and her diplomacy is high, as is her intrigue, so that is no doubt how she has retained the throne as long as she has. Very pious woman as well, so things in the Empire, while not entirely stable, are reasonably stable under the rule of the Basilisa. Will things remain the same under her son? That is the question. Do Adrianos of Thessaly, a deceitful but just and wrathful man, an extremely skilled warrior, an overseer, a reaver, but also a drunkard, who has a strong martial capability, when he takes over the Empire for, interestingly enough, his Catholic mother, things will go back to a Orthodox ruler here in the Byzantine Empire. And of course, as you can probably imagine, there are many, many different polities here in the Byzantine Empire that we are going to have to work our way through. In comparison to when we were a vassal of Aquitaine, there are a lot of vassals here in the Byzantine Empire, and it should be very interesting to play through with this many in an empire this size. What is our goal? Well, our goal is, our number one goal, our short-term goal is obviously to take over Moesia for ourselves. But after that, we want to expand our base of power here in northeastern Bulgaria, and then potentially play the politics game. Can we potentially get a member of Clan Stjarna on the throne of the Byzantine Empire? Is that possible within, say, 1 or 2 generations? That might be a hefty goal, but at the very least we could form a pretty strong power base here in the Carpathians, perhaps even taking over them and forming our own kingdom. We shall simply have to see. We are going to speed up time here and simply wait until our murder scheme comes to pass. Well, look at that. Our brother, Jarl Pudak, has died in his sleep at 58 years of age. And now his son has taken over. Very interesting indeed. Jarl Vese Pudak's son. He is probably going to be not very much of a problem for us if we did want to push our claims, and we do. I think we'll still want to deal with the High Chief here. We'll wait. We won't immediately attack our now nephew after the death of our brother. F's in chat for Jarl Pudak the Dull. But here we have another path. My agents have noticed that the devout High Chieftain Jakob reacts strangely every time his acquaintance Chieftain Damian is mentioned. Investigating further would mean putting aside my dark plans for the High Chieftain, but I must admit my curiosity is piqued. Now, we will stay focused on our goal here. The murder of the High Chieftain will potentially provide us a little bit of cover, especially from the north here, so we're going to continue with our plan. I expect High Chieftain Kikobad would be keenly interested in the information I have acquired indicating High Chieftain Jeremy was the murderer of his acquaintance Ipekel. Perhaps he would even be interested enough to offer me something substantial in exchange. Well, oh man, if secrets are going to get us money like this, 61% chance. Well, let's try it. Let's see if he'll pay us. As you can see here, King Sumar Lethi has now become the head of the Stjarna dynasty. I'll just take a look here. There are the 5 different houses, as you can see. The 2 branches of House Eirikr are brothers and ours. There are the Navarin Stjarnas. There are the Nordvas in Scotland, and then there's the original House Stjarna. But Sumar Lethi is now the most powerful of all the dynasty members. Whether High Chieftain Kikobad believed me or not when I told him I had information is hard to say. Whatever the case, he refused to agree to my terms and sending me away empty-handed. Well, it was worth the effort. We could have made some money, and hopefully we will in the future. In fact, it may be worth it getting these secrets, but I'll wait until we finish our murder scheme. I don't think we'll have to worry too much about Jarl Vese and his troops. I think we will be the superior force if we do face him in battles. My agents have prepared for weeks. The cook has been bribed to look the other way, the poison has been acquired, and the duck was gifted to High Chieftain Jakob alone. It will be rubbed with the poison, and the bed of herbs will mask the smell as it is served. The deadly bitterness will be the last thing my target ever tastes. 92% chance the chieftain is killed. I will take those chances. Healthy eater. The poison did its job, and High Chieftain Jakob is no more. Even better, in his death throes, a bone got stuck in High Chieftain Jakob's throat. Now it is unclear exactly what killed him at all. It must have been something he ate. And there we go. To the brooding Refir, it is my duty to inform you that irrefutable evidence has been unveiled proving that your marriage with Countess Pucheria is consanguous in nature. This information will stay between the two of us if you end this unholy union at once. Really? Really? I wonder. This man... vengeful, zealous, lazy? And he's making claims about our wife? Well... I am... I don't know how we'll take this. Our marriage will not be torn apart by such a lie. We can prove the claim is fake. Indeed, I think we will prove the claim is fake. We will not bow down to this man's demands. I prove that it is fake. Indeed we do. My daughter-in-law, Finguala, has given birth to a daughter. Since the little one was part of the Stjarna dynasty, she should be blessed with a good name. Such as... perhaps... Freydis. That is a good, strong name. There we go. So, the High Chief of Moldavia was slain. His, I believe, son has now taken over. That should provide us with the little bit of distraction to the north that we need in order to push our claims on the Duchy of Moesia. I don't think we're going to even need to call in our allies because, well, or will we, really? It's a good question. We do outnumber his troops. He will have a defensive advantage. No, I think we'll easily have this in hand. So, oh, what is this? The twists and turns of fate have not always been to my advantage. God knows that I was cursed the day I met Kagan Manas, my rival. We were rivals with the Kagan? Well, an important person that we were enemies of. However, that curse has been lifted. He has been slain. He died of old age at age 61. And now, who has become the Kagan after him? I suppose we can take a quick look. Khatun Sibel. Interesting. Not a Kagan, but a Khatun. Very curious indeed. Khazarite? Khazar? Very interesting indeed. An organized Jewish faith. We shall see how that all plays out, but we have more important matters to deal with, and that is dealing with our wayward nephew and essentially ending him for good. We could call in the Count here, I believe. No, he won't. He won't accept. He is currently a loyal vassal, or he's waiting to pick sides here. Can we catch them there? What would be our best option? The mayor here is probably our strongest warrior. Tidbits from far away visiting the local market. A merchant from a faraway land catches my attention. Come closer, my lord. Marvel at treasures never seen in these lands. I had to blend into the populace to get these beauties out. Truly a harrowing experience. I think... Oh, we're going to take this, indeed, and get the dread and this understands people, hostile scheme resistance, 20. This is definitely the best option here. So we are going in with double the enemy's numbers here, and I'm hoping that that should give us enough of an advantage to defeat them in battle. Outnumbering them 2-1 should be enough, even with their defensive advantages. Our eldest son has given birth to a daughter as well, Sieu. May you grow strong and wise. I am fine with that name. The battle is currently indeed going in our favor, mostly due to our overwhelming numbers. And that should probably prove enough for us to see victory here. against the enemy commander Arngrimir. And there we go, the battle is done. We are routing the enemy forces, and we will lay siege to their capital. In the battle, we did slay Mayor Bernardine, and no losses on our side despite both of our sons taking part in the battle. Although they are not skilled warriors, we will send them into some battles at least anyways, because it is important that we essentially have our sons prove themselves as capable warriors. That is important within the Nordvina culture. So let us speed up time. We do have somebody with siege skill in charge here, and that should be very quickly done, as you will see here. That gives us 38%. We can unlock another intrigue. I think we will do find secrets. I would like to find many more secrets, and we will have our son go back onto that. Find secrets, perhaps in the court of the Basilisa. There we go. So can we engage with the enemy army here? Where are they going to be heading? We might be able to catch them here. Schemer discovered. My spy master has come to me with grave news. It is my aunt Thorun who is plotting against my niece Thomas. Well, you shouldn't be doing that. Here, it looks like we have the advantage once again. Their forces holding up in the mountains, but that will not be enough. We are winning this war not through our own skill at arms as we might have done with Styrkar or Satorthi, but in fact we are doing what we can to win simply by paying our way and intriguing our way to the top. As you can see, Count Sigurd Freyr's son was slain in battle on the side of the enemy. That was once our ally, but now he is dead. So it is what it is. There we go, another win. We'll simply need to probably siege down one or two more of their counties. So we're gonna speed things up pretty quickly here. Looks like we can even potentially catch them in maybe one more battle here. I'll slow it down. Let's take a look here quickly. The details of this battle. We captured the enemy commander here, as you can see, and we slew Arngrimir and Count Burgess and captured the enemy commander. They don't have hardly any commanders left at all, and no injuries on our side. This war is going sweepingly in our favor. And one more battle here, going up against Jarl Vese himself, forced to lead his troops despite the fact that he is not a capable commander in any sense of the word. And there we go, we just completely destroyed the enemy forces there. Let us take a look at the details. Yeah, no enemy knights. They've all been dealt with. Let's go and siege down this county here. We want an alliance. We'll take this alliance with Bulgars, indeed. While performing his duties as my spy master, we have uncovered a secret held by Countess Yelka. Unbelievable. Alright, let's let this siege tick down here. And that should hopefully potentially give us the war. Not quite. We'll need to siege down a few more of these smaller baronies. Send proposal. It would personally... We're at war. I'm not sending... Oh, he wants to send him to us? Oh. Okay, I'll accept your son here into our court. I'm curious why he would be interested in doing that. The roleplay reasons? Perhaps he knows that this war is over and he's simply trying to essentially gain a I think he's just trying to like prevent his son from facing an unfortunate accident. He's saying, take him as your ward. This war is yours. The Duchy of Moesia, it is yours. But simply do not kill my son. Take him and raise him to however you wish, but let him live. And we can accept that, just as we can accept our rightful place as the ruler of the Duchy of Moesia. Enforce our demands. To my liege, your wisdom and mercy are legendary. You are a much greater foe than I imagined. In order to put an end to this bloodshed, I will comply with your demands. There we go. Now, Jarl Pudak, or Jarl Vese Pudak's son, is a vassal of us. And as you can see here, we are now the rulers of the Duchy of Moesia. Where do we go from here? Well, we have several routes of expansion. In fact, as you can see, we have a lot of claims. The Kingdom of Denmark, the Kingdom of Bjarmaland, the Jarldom of Jylland, the Jarldom of Chudia, Bjarmia, Ustjug, Aarhus, Rinkhobing, Alberg, Ciel, and Kargopol, Onega, Kolmogari, Kevrola. Well, most of these are far away, but we do have claims, more interestingly here, on Constanta, and now as the ruler of the Duchy of Moesia, we have a few claims here in Serbia as well. So we will be looking into those in the very near future, but that is the end of this episode, and so until the next time, I will see you then.